everybody, good morning and welcome to this beginner's play session. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different today. What I'm going to be doing is what I'm calling commentated bidding. Now this is because one of the most common questions that I get is basically how do I know where I'm going in the auction, what I'm trying to achieve, and basically how do I describe my hand. So what we're going to do, we're going to bid a whole stack of hands, not actually play any of them, but just talk through the bidding and the logic that should be used when you have these sorts of hands. So let's get straight into it. Now I'm going to hold the south hands. I've put the robots in as my opponents. I've got north's hand as well, but we're basically going to look at south's logic when they've got these hands. So on this first one here, south's partner opened with 1 no trump. When you're the responder to 1 no trump, you actually have so much information. You know partners specifically between 15 to 17, and it's your job to work out how high you can go and where the contract should be placed. You might need to ask your partner for more information, so that's our statement and our transfers, but generally you're in control at this stage. Now with this south hand, I've got 13 points myself. And I know if partner's got 15, we'd have 28. If partner's got something like up to 17, we're going to have 30. But basically that's going to put us in this sweet spot where we're really happy to be in game and we've got no chance of slam. So what I want to do is plan out where the auction's going to go and what my bids are going to mean. The first thing I want to do is decide I want to go to a game contract, and then think about how can I tell partner about my hand or find out what I want, and then how can I place it. So with this one, what I'm going to want to do is use the Stayman convention, find out if partner's got 4 hearts or not. If they do have the 4 hearts, all I'm going to do is place the contract into 4 hearts. If they don't have 4 hearts, what I want to do is tell partner that I'd like to play 3 no trumps. So I start off with 2 clubs, and my partner shouldn't have been doing that. I'll open it up for us so we can see that. Sorry about that. Don't know why I can't undo here. But what should have happened, was that partner should have bid 2 hearts, and then I would have placed the contract into 4 hearts, and that's how our auction should have gone on this one. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, this time I've got quite a nice hand, and it's gone past me. So with this hand, I've got 13 high card points, and straight away what I like to do is put myself into the category of unbalanced, because I don't have a balanced hand. It's very powerful when you've got both major suits. You think you're probably going to play in one of them. So I'm going to start off with a heart to tell my partner that I've got 5 of them. Now my partner, when it comes back to them, they're going to bid 2 clubs, and I now have to decide what I'm going to do on this hand. Now with this particular one, I've got a big problem here, and we've got a lovely lesson on reverses, which if you're a BridgeVid member, go take a look at. So my problem here with this hand is that I've got only sort of 13 points, and ideally I'd like to be able to tell my partner about my spades. The problem is if I bid 2 spades, I'll be making a reversing bid, and this will tell my partner I've actually got sort of 15 or 16 or more points. Now the logic that comes into reverses is that if I were to bid 2 spades, and hopefully it'll let me I don't know why I can't do undos here. What I might do is see if I can fiddle with it so I can. But what I'm trying to do basically is that if I bid 2 spades, I am going to be forcing my partner to bid. Now partner might not necessarily have enough points that we should be playing at the 3 level. So if I'm reversing here with only sort of 13 points, we could easily get too high. And that's the logic about why reverses come in. Now you've got your problem about what do you do, because you have to do something. When you get to this position, you've sort of got 2 options to correctly describe your points. You could either rebid your hearts, but the problem with that here is that you're telling your partner you've usually got 6 of them. Or alternatively, you could bid 2 no trumps. Now both of these are going to be a lie. 2 no trumps is a lie because we should be balanced when we bid no trumps. Bidding 2 hearts also feels like a lie because you don't have 6 of them. So you have to choose which lie you think is the least worst. I think 2 hearts is probably the least worst here, and this is because at least I can tell my partner I'm unbalanced. I do also have such a nice heart suit that it's probably not that bad really calling it 6. And that's basically the trade-off we have to make. Now what's going to happen, oops, sorry, I'll see if I can get back into that one. Doesn't look like I can. Sorry about that. Basically, with the bidding, what would have ended up happening is that we would have ended up getting to hearts, because partner actually did have some heart support for me and they were going through the process. Okay, hopefully we can get this under control now. So here with this one, we have our East player as the dealer. And let's see what happens with our East. Oh, whoops, sorry. We'll get this under control at some stage, I swear. Wow, that's a great hand, isn't it? Okay, I'm glad we redealt that one. At least I got a really good hand. This one's a particularly powerful hand. So here I think I've got about 22 high card points. And I've got the 2 5-card suits in the minors, so that's very powerful, having a 5-5 hand shape. And I've got to decide how I want to bid this hand. A lot of people might just straight away think they'll open with a 2 club bid. Whenever you're considering if you're going to open with 2 clubs, there's a few things that you might want to double check first. The first one is, if I open at the 1 level, do I think that the auction's going to get passed out? And if you don't think the auction's going to get passed out, you actually have no reason to open it at 2 clubs. And the reason is that you can always bid again later. The next thing I like to double check is, will I actually have enough tricks to make a game contract if my partner's got absolutely nothing? And with this hand, I probably don't. I probably need a fit with my partner to be able to make enough for game. So although it's got 22 points, I am going to elect to open at 1 diamond, and we're going to see what happens. So 1 diamond, the opponents have overcalled 1 spade, and my partner passes. Now what's happened here is the opponents have gotten in on the bidding. When I'm making my plan as south, I can also start to deduce a few things about my partner's hand. They didn't want to bid over 1 spade at all. This means they didn't have one of those negative doubles to make, so they didn't have sort of 6 points and 4 hearts. So poor partner, they don't also have 6 to 9 with a stopper, or you might play it as 8 to 11 to bid a no trump. But what I can do now is I can bid my clubs. And here I have to have enough that I wanted to be able to bid 4 clubs all by myself. So this means I need a pretty good hand here. I've said to partner, I think I can make 10 tricks all by myself between diamonds and clubs. Now I'm going to say that what our partner does now is actually puts the contract into 5 diamonds. And you can see basically what their hand was. They didn't have enough points that they could make a double of 1 spade to show their hearts, but then they did have 4 diamonds with us. So what do we think about their jump bid to 5 diamonds, and whether or not they should have done that, or they should have actually just bid 4 diamonds? This one comes into sort of thinking about what's going on in the auction. If our south player has said, partner, I'm going to bid 4 clubs even though you haven't shown me anything, you just passed 1 spade, they're going to have quite an extreme hand shape. So something like this, it could also be maybe a 6-4 hand shape or something like that as well. But at least sort of 11 cards, 10 or 11 cards in the 2 suits, and it's got to be quite extreme and quite powerful to be bidding at the 4 level here without any support from partner. And what this means is the north player's hand becomes even more powerful. So 5 diamonds, it looks like it's going to be a good contract. I am missing the king jack of diamonds, but hopefully we can manage that to only lose 1 diamond trick. And if on this hand I can lose 1 diamond trick, hopefully I can set up or rough one of my clubs and pitch another one on the queen of hearts. So just losing a diamond and a spade, hopefully. Okay, on to the next one. And please do feel free to send through any questions that you do have. Okay, so this time I'm dealer. Now I pick up this hand and I've got, what do I have? 12 high card points. Now, a lot of people, if you only ever open sort of 13s, or you open only good 12s, you might not open this one because you don't like the 4-3-3 hand shape. I'm quite a fan of opening with all 12-point hands. Now, in thinking about the logic behind that, it basically comes in that if you don't open it, you're going to have a very, very tough time playing catch up later on. So you kind of have to open it now, or you won't be able to play catch up a bit later. Okay, so let's say our partner bids 3 diamonds. They might have even bid 4 actually. We'll have a look at their hand afterwards. Now at this stage, we've got basically a hand that we don't want to keep going in this auction. We know that partners had to potentially push to 3 diamonds here. What happens when our opponents make preemptive overcalls is they put us under this pressure. And basically what happens is that your raise levels need to change, because ideally our partner would have been able to bid 2 diamonds, 3 diamonds, or maybe even something up to 5 diamonds. Now that the opponents have overcalled and gotten in the way, partner has to bid 3 diamonds if they just want to raise us. So with a 12 count, I'd just be passing that. And this is what we had for the hand. Now, what do we think of partner's bid? I might have been tempted by a couple more diamonds if I was partner, knowing that you're going to have a pretty good fit. But yeah, 3 diamonds should be all right. And yeah, good spot to end up. We can see that partner had quite a nice hand, including their shortage in clubs, and they couldn't actually double 3 clubs either. And that's because they couldn't tolerate it if I came back and I actually bid 3 spades. Okay, let's see our next one. Okay, this is a pretty good hand. Let's see what happens. So partner passes and it comes up to us with 1 diamond. Now when you make an overcall in bridge, there's a few reasons you want to do it. Generally the most prevalent ones are the fact that it might actually be our hand. We also often want partners to make a particular lead. We could be sacrificing as well, or we could be annoying our opponents. On this particular hand, I think I really want to make an overcall because I genuinely believe it could actually be our hand. So what I'm going to do is just start off with 1 heart. I've got no reason to really do anything else. This hand's not strong enough to double first and then bid the suit. It's not far off, but I probably wouldn't double first and then bid the suit. Okay, so the opponents have now started bidding spades and it's come back around to me at 2 spades. It's important to note that partner didn't actually want to raise to 2 hearts here. They could have done that if they wanted to. So then I've got a question about what do I want to do now? I've got a couple of different options, I think. I don't want to pass because that's going to let the opponents play the contract in 2 spades when we've probably got a place to compete to at the 3 level. I've also still got quite a few points, so it could just genuinely be our hand where we could make a contract at the 3 level. I think my 2 options, I could potentially bid 3 hearts, but what I'd like to do is actually double and not take clubs and diamonds out of the picture for my partner. Now this isn't sort of your typical double shape. You might not have the 6th heart and you might have a 4 card minor. But the reason that it's going to be useful is that often partner might have a 5 card minor. If they've got sort of 2 4 card minors, they might bid them, but I'm pretty happy doubling and hoping that if partner does bid a minor, they're going to have 5, or more to the point if they bid clubs. So here partner actually comes back and says 3 hearts. Oh, I passed that. Maybe I shouldn't have passed it so quickly. What that would probably mean is that they had 3 hearts themselves, but they were too weak to raise the first time. And what this means is they'll probably have less than about 6 or 7 points. It also means I'm probably not making 4 hearts, so I would just pass it out here and we'd see how that went. All right, so here's what we had. Where partner couldn't bid the first time because they were just too weak. One of the most powerful things we can do in bridge is that we can pass first and then we can bid later. And that's showing our partner that we had weakness. Now here, they were actually really happy to have the auction go the way that it went because they'd been able to promise partner 3 hearts, but they didn't raise the first time, which would have shown more points. If they did have sort of some distribution going for them, I don't mind raising here with sort of 5 or 6 points. It's great to be able to show partner you've got to fit as soon as possible. But 3 spades, the south hand didn't look particularly defensive, but that's where we ended up. Okay, let's see what else we've got. All right, this time we have some rubbish, and we'll see how we go here. So our partner's the one to deal, just counting up their points, and they start off with 1 diamond and 1 spade by the opponents. So here again, I'm the one with the weak hand, and what I can do, I can't make a bid, I'm just going to pass, but I might be able to bid again later. So my partner passes and the opponents bid 3 clubs, which they're playing as basically a long suit trial forcing to 3 spades. Now, if the opponents had actually passed here, I probably would have considered bidding 3 diamonds on my hand. Now, the logic behind that is if your opponents ever try to stop at the 2 level and they don't actually go looking for game, it's because they don't possibly have enough points for game. And it means that the points are going to be at least sort of roughly evenly split. Now, the reason I can also raise with only 4 diamonds is that partner basically always has at least 4 diamonds when they open a diamond, even if you're playing better minor. The only time they wouldn't have 4 diamonds is if they actually held 4 spades and 4 hearts, and this could give them 3 diamonds and 2 clubs. But that's the only hand that they only have 4 diamonds. And I actually know that that's not going to be the case for this hand. And that's because they've bid and raised spades, so they have to have 8 of them, and I've got 2 myself, so my partner couldn't possibly have 4 spades. So we'll see where they end up. Don't worry too much about the opponent's bidding. They're making what we call game tries, and they've just stopped in 3 spades. So here me and my partner would be defending 3 spades. We'll have a lead and see what it looks like. Oh, we get to see the dummy. We don't want to see that. Let's see. We can have a look at all of them. Alright, so these are the hands that we had. No, you can't see all of them. Sorry about this. There we go. Alright, so partner had started off with a diamond. If we had been able to compete to 3 diamonds and play there, it wouldn't have been all too bad. The opponents here managed to compete to 3 spades, and they don't have very good spades. But the key part is they basically have everything else. So they're going to lose 1 club, they're going to lose a diamond, they'll probably get to trump the other one, and they're just going to lose those 2 spades to us as well. Okay, let's get on to our next board. So here I am in 2nd position this time, and it's gone past me. So with this hand, I've just got nothing to do, and we'll see what partner bids. So here it's gone 1 heart, and partner's passed as well, and a 1 no trump bid by the opponents. Now here it feels like you've got enough points that you want to do something. What you can do in these situations often, and a lot of people forget about this one, it doesn't apply for this hand, but a bit of a double here. Do you know what that would mean? Now, I don't have the hand that's appropriate for it on this one, but a really nice bid to be able to make is a double here after the opponents have had an auction like this. And what it means is I wanted to make a takeout double of the West's bid, or of the opening bidder's bid. So it's a really nice idea to be able to have, and a lot of people think that it probably should be a penalty double, but it actually shouldn't, and the reason for that is 1 no trump didn't really show a suit, so you want to be able to make a takeout double of the suit that was opened, but we don't have a hand for that, so we'll get rid of our double. A hand for that would have been where we basically had just under opening points, so maybe about sort of 9 to 11 points, and we only had our 0 to 2 hearts. So we're just going to pass. This is an interesting auction. Okay, so the opponents ended up playing in 2 no trumps, and it's always a good idea to think about what you know on the hand. So here, if you're playing standard American, you should actually never have this auction that East and West have had. The East-West pair here actually are playing the 2/1 system. Now, what's happened here was East said 1 no trump, I've got 6 to 11 points. If you're just playing basic standard American, it's only 6 to 9 points. After the 2 diamond bid, East has to make a bid because it's a new suit. And playing 2/1, what happens now is that they have to be able to show sort of 10 to 12 points by bidding 2 no trumps. If you're playing normal standard American, you'd never make this 2 no trump bid with only 6 to 9 points. Now the reason for that is that partner, when they bid 2 diamonds, they haven't actually promised any extra points. They're still only promising 12 or more points. So with 6 to 9 opposite your partner's 12, there's no way you possibly want to play 2 no trumps. So what would happen here is generally you'd bid 2 hearts if you had 2 hearts for them, and it's called a preference bid. Alternatively, you could have raised their diamonds, or if you had your own 6+ card suit, you could have bid it there as well. Okay, on to our next one. Another rubbish hand for me. And this time I'm dealer, so I've only got 7 points. And again, a 4-3-3 hand shape, which isn't particularly great. Okay, after partner's 1 diamond bid, what I want to do here is introduce my hearts. Partner, I've got 6 or more points. Don't get it confused with 6 to 9, it's 6 or more. And I've got 4 or more hearts. And partner comes back with 1 no trump. So this is the same idea as, I guess, kind of an opening bid of 1 no trump. When the responder comes back and rebids it, they're saying that they've got 12 to 15 points. And again, as the responder, I can start to add the points together. So what I've got is 7. I know my partner's got somewhere between, 12 to 14 points. We're not going to have enough for game. The next question is, now that we're not going to have enough for game, where do we want to play the contract? Partner can't possibly have 4 hearts, so I'm just going to pass 1 no trump, which is where it'll actually end. So playing in 1 no trump, and that's where going to be the best contract. All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, my hands are starting to slowly improve. We'll see how this one goes. So 1 heart by the opponents. Now, this is a situation that people often find really difficult here. One where they've got enough points that they want to make an overcall, but they happen to hold the opponent's suit. So they couldn't make a takeout double. If East had opened 1 diamond, we'd absolutely love to make a takeout double. But when East opens a heart, we've got the opponent's suit, we don't have a 5-card suit of our own to overcall, and we also can't bid 1 no trump because we just don't have enough points. So what are we going to do? You actually just pass in these situations. The idea is that you might end up defending the hand, or alternatively you might be able to compete a little bit later. Okay, so again here, now the opponents have started bidding both of our suits. Again, this is definitely a time to pass because you don't want to get in there and start bidding and basically trying to play in their suits. It's just not a nice place to be. So if we take a look at all the hands on this one, I'll just show those. The opponents had quite a tricky spot to get to. Now, they had to bid 2 clubs here, and this is just the funny robot system because of the fact that they are playing 2 over 1. Now, we had a lot of points on this hand. We've nearly got half between us and our partner, but what we want to do is just defend these contracts. A lot of people think because I've got the points, I really need to get in there and bid. Often defending can be the right way to go. So don't forget, when the opponents basically open 1 of your long suits, generally what you're doing is passing, even if you've got the right amount of points for an overcall. I don't know if this one's improving. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so partner's the dealer, and they start off with 1 heart. So here, what I like to do as the responder is start to think about what point range I am in straight from the start. Now here with 10, and I like to count it as 11 points with my 5th spade, adding a length point. What I'm basically doing is evaluating my hand that I most likely want to make an invitational bid to partner at some stage to invite them to game. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with 1 spade. Partner's going to come back and say 2 diamonds, and it's back up to me now at this stage. So this is where I wanted to invite my partner to game. I want to be able to tell them if they're closer to that 14 points, I'd like to play game, and basically more to the point that I've sort of got about 10 to 12 myself for them to be able to make the decision. There's 2 ways that I'd be able to show an invitational hand here. I could jump to 3 spades myself, or I could simply bid 2 no trumps. Now, the flaw with 2 no trumps is it feels like it's giving up on my 5th spade. The flaw with something like 3 spades is that it suspiciously looks like I've got 6 spades. I'm going to go with 2 no trumps because I think I want to suggest to partner that I'd like to play no trumps. And here with my partner's hand, it's now up to them. They know I've got 10 to 12 points. With less than 10, I'd have to bid a suit that's already been bid, and that's that preference situation. So partner here, they're going to put the contract into 3 no trumps for us. And we'll see how that would have went. Okay, so they start off with the club lead. No surprise there. They do like to lead the unbid suit. But I think we're going to be in an okay spot. If nice things happen in our heart suit, we can always get 5 hearts. And if not, we've still got a lot of options left with the other suits. So 3 no trumps, a nice contract to end up in. And it was about choosing if I wanted to invite in no trumps or somewhere else on the south hand. Okay, this is a good south hand. Very happy with this one. Alright, so with a hand like this, another 5-5-3 shape. Again, I'm just going to start off with 1 diamond. I don't want to open this 2 clubs or anything like that because I don't need to. It's not going to get passed out at the 1 level. And with this one, I don't actually have anywhere near enough tricks for game. So partner's going to come in and say 1 spade. Now I can introduce my clubs, which is still forcing. Feels like I've got a lot of points here, so I might need to jump in clubs, but I don't need to because a new suit's forcing. At this stage, when I bid 2 clubs, I'm telling partner I've got 5 diamonds and 4 clubs and 12 or more points. The key part is it's or more. When it comes back around to partner, what are they going to do? 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Partner's going to come back in and say 2 hearts. Now, a lot of people might play a convention here called 4th suit forcing, where what has actually happened is my partner North has said, partner, we must go to game. I need you to tell me something more. And it's a really useful convention to play. And generally what happens here is that, in my case as South, I want to look for something that I haven't told my partner about. And that'd be that I've got a 5th club. So now I got to tell my partner I was 5 and 4. But then when I rebid my other 4 card suit, it must be because I'm now 5 and 5. My partner, oh, they wouldn't have passed that. They would have bid 3 no trumps on the hand, potentially, or they might have even given 4 clubs a go. But we'd end up basically muddling our way through. We might even look for slam, but as it turns out, we probably don't really want to be in a slam contract. So we might have played 3 no trumps if partner bid it. Alternatively, we might have got to 5 clubs. Yeah, but that's the key point in these auctions. If you're introducing a new suit, it's going to be forcing anyway, so you don't need to worry about partner passing. Okay, so as dealer here, this one's a lot less exciting. What have we got? It feels like we have a no trump opening. 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 16. Yep, a perfect 1 no trump opening. Now, a lot of people think that when they open 1 no trump, they need to have stoppers in all the suits. Absolutely not. Don't worry about where your high cards are. It's just the fact that you have them. So you've got to have 15 to 17 points. They could all be even concentrated in one particular suit, or 2 suits, sorry. And just that you are a balanced hand shape. Now let's see what partner does. So partner starts off with the Stamen bid. So here they're looking to see if I've got a 4 card major. And as it turns out, I come back and tell them that I do have hearts for them. Now with my partner's hand, we might actually have a look at it. I might swap, yeah, we'll have a look at all of them. And we'll see what we think that partner should do. So here, I got partner to start off with a 2 club Stamen bid with the idea that they could look for a fit in hearts and then they could tell me about their diamonds later if they wanted to. So what's happened now is they've found a fit in hearts. So they're going to want hearts to be trumps even though we might have a bigger fit in diamonds. The next thing is how high do they want to play? So with my partner's hand, they've got 13 high card points. And I like counting a bit more for the fact that they are quite distributional, and also the fact that they've got this long side suit that could be worth quite a few tricks. So what might happen here is partner might actually start looking for slam. It might be a touch and go slam. It works out perfectly today, because what would happen in 6 hearts, all we'd have to do is basically knock out the heart, and then in the end we're going to get to pitch our diamonds, pitch our spades on the diamonds. We can also rough a spade at the end. So 6 hearts would make if my partner did go looking for it. So quite a nice hand there. Okay, so this one's a bit more rubbish, and I'll just get rid of everybody's hands. So we'll just look at south. And here we are as the dealer. So this one, not enough points to open. 3 spades by the opponents. That's an interesting one. And our partner doubles. So what do we want to do here? Now, these situations often come up where you've got a partner who's doubled a preempt and you're deciding what to do. Now, it should actually be a reasonable rarity that you do pass these doubles, because partner was looking to take out, they wanted to play somewhere else. In this situation where I've got such good spades, I'm probably actually just going to pass the double and defend 3 spades doubled. Now, generally, if you ever do pass these doubles, what I like to have is I like to know I've got over half the points, which here partners promised a bit more than an opening hand, probably about sort of 15 points or so. But I also like to have a couple of tricks in their trump suit. And that's because I need a way of basically stopping them from winning tricks with their spades. So you always want tricks in the trump suit if you're going to pass a double here. Generally, it's going to be a lot better to also, or depending on the vulnerability, you've also got the decision of whether or not to bid 3 no trumps with a stopper rather than pass the double. With such few points, I might not even be making 3 no trumps with my partner's hand. So here I would just pass the double. And we'd defend 3 spades doubled. This hand's a little bit rubbish as well. I think this one's going to be up to the opponents. Now here over 4 spades, I do have a perfect hand shape for a takeout double, but knowing partner didn't want to bid over 3 spades, I don't have enough points that I could force us to do something. Now some people might play that if you doubled 4 spades, it is actually 4 penalties. That's okay if you do that. Generally, doubles of 4 hearts, a lot of people play as for takeout, but doubles of 4 spades, they play for penalties. A good thing to discuss with your partner. So we'd actually just defend this one in 4 spades. Okay, another rubbish board, but my partner opens. Now they actually open 1 spade, and here it's really interesting. The opponents have preempted up to 3 hearts. Now I do have 4 card support for my partner, which is great. I do have an ace, so I've got 4 points, and I also like to count a distribution point to get me to 5. Now, ideally, I think I would have bid 2 spades if it had actually gone 1 spade pass. What's happened here, when the opponents have taken up the room, I need a little bit extra, so I don't want to bid 3 spades with just a minimum hand. I do have the 4th spade, which is particularly nice. I don't mind bidding 3 spades, but it could go awfully. I think I'm just going to pass, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so the opponents have now bid 4 hearts, and it's gone pass to us. At this stage, you'd probably just pass it and defend 4 hearts. But this was a bit of a restraint. I couldn't bid because I didn't have enough points. Also, a thing to check is the vulnerability in these cases. If I wasn't vulnerable, you can be a little bit pushier, and you might have bid 3 spades on this one. Okay, so here we are, and again, partner's dealer, and partner starts off with 1 diamond. So when it gets around to us now, again, we can start to think about the points, and I like to straight away think, you know what, this hand's probably suited towards no trumps. So here, what do I have? I've got 8, 9, I think I've got up to 13 points, feels about right. So I know that with my hand and partner's hand, we always have to play in a game contract. I know I don't want the bidding to stop below game. So what I need to do is find a way that I can tell partner that. I don't have a suit that I can bid, and I know that I don't want really any suit to be trumps. I know I want to play no trumps. So the way that I have to tell them this is actually by bidding 3 no trumps. Partner, I must have sort of 13 or more points because I know that we can make game together, and I didn't bid a 4-card suit, so I'm not looking for a trump suit anywhere. And we'd actually end up playing there. Now, partner's got an interesting hand when you see this one. This is a problem that a lot of people often sort of come across. Now, the first thing, they had an 11 count that they opened. This might not be everybody's style. Some people might do it, some people mightn't. And they also opened a diamond with this 4-4-1 hand shape. Now, when you're choosing what you open, normally, I guess the standard sort of thing would be that you'd open a club. Sometimes, though, what you can do is choose your opening based on what we call our rebid. So whenever you open, you should have in mind what your second bid is going to be. With my partner's hand or North's hand, they've got a big problem if they open 1 club and let's say I bid 1 spade. So if I opened 1 club and they bid 1 spade, they've got a big problem that they can't bid then other suits because that would be a reverse, and they don't probably want to bid 1 no trump, or else that would be showing me that they've got a balanced hand. By opening 1 diamond, what they're preparing themselves to do is actually, if I bid 1 spade, bidding 2 clubs. Now this is a bit of a lie because it would be showing 5 diamonds and 4 clubs, but it feels like a worse lie than telling me that I'm balanced. Now the reason I don't like bidding no trumps with a singleton in this position, so if it had gone 1 diamond by North and then 1 spade by South, and then they bid 1 no trump, is that their partner's entitled to assume that they're balanced. What this means is that anytime South had, say, 6 spades, they're going to put the contract into a spade contract and you're going to be playing there. So that's why I try to avoid that one. So as it so happens, you get to 3 no trumps here. You've got a little bit of work to do. If you're lucky, you might be able to get sort of 4 diamonds, maybe 3 hearts and 2 clubs or a club and a spade. So yeah, 3 no trumps. It's a little bit of a hairy contract, but there's been worse. Okay, so here we are and we have a 6-5 hand shape. So 6 spades and 5 clubs. It's a very powerful hand shape, and it's because your hand's so suited to declaring a contract. With it though, you're still not strong enough to open in this situation. So we've only got 9 high card points. I might be tempted to open it, but generally don't try to, oh, you know what, let's open it. Why not? I wouldn't try to get into the habit of opening sort of 9 high card point in hands. This one's a little bit extreme though. Okay, so when it goes 4 diamonds, our partner actually has a bit of a problem here. They're going to bid 4 spades. Okay, and we'd just passed that, feeling rather guilty about our opening bid. As it turns out, partner has a great hand for us, and we'll actually end up being able to make 6 spades on this hand. And that's because we've got no diamonds to lose. We can rough those, and we're just going to lose to the ace of clubs. So partner had a very nice hand for us. Don't know what you think of their 4 spade bid. I think their 4 spade bid was possibly a little bit conservative, but this is the problem of what the opponents do when they preempt. They do put you under a lot of pressure. So my partner had to do something. They've got all these aces and kings. They think slam might be a possibility, but at this stage they just have to bid 4 spades. They can't really start looking for slam. When the opponents preempt, you bid game very, very aggressively, but you don't go looking for slam very aggressively. You keep that quite passive. And that's because the risk of getting to a slam that doesn't work is just so high. I hate it when the opponents get in the way and don't let us have a nice auction. Okay, let's see a next one. A 5-5, still not a bad hand shape. I don't like my singleton king. So when you're evaluating singleton honors at the start, still count them as high card points. Don't ever not open a hand because you've got a singleton honor. But later on, what you might be able to do is reevaluate them. So I still always count them as high card points. So here I think I get up to about 11, and I've got 2 5-card suits, so I add all my length points. And I'll start off with a spade. When it gets around to partner, they're going to raise me to 4 spades. Now, we're just playing this as sort of a limit raise, so partner's telling me they've got enough points for game. which will be about sort of 13 to 16, and we're talking about total points here. So here we are in 4 spades, and we'll see how it goes. I know I've got no chance of slam opposite partners sort of 13 to 16. So we've just got 2 club losers and a spade loser on this one, or it could be 3 club losers, and we'd be able to take the finesse, hopefully to not lose any spades at all. So 4 spades, nice contract to get to. What's with all these 5-5s? I don't pick up this many 5-5s in real life. So here West opens a spade and partner passes, and their opponents raise them to 2 spades. Now I've got a bit of a decision about what to do on this hand. Do I want to compete, or do I just want to pass it out here? Again, I need to start thinking about my reasons for making overcalls. Is it going to be my hand, or is it that I want to take a sacrifice, or what's going on? With a 5-5 shape, it is quite powerful, and with this hand I've got most of my points concentrated in my suits. Now if you do play Michael's Q bid style or the unusual no trump, you usually can bid 2 no trumps here, but I wouldn't do this unless you've discussed it with your partner. So the unusual 2 no trumps should still apply. And if I've got this available in my system where I can show a 5-5 hand shape, I'd do that. If I don't have it available that I can show a 5-5 hand shape, I have a bit of a problem though. And what I'd probably end up doing reluctantly is just actually passing. And that's because I don't want to bid one of my suits, because I could just be bidding the wrong one, and I can't make a double. So I can't tell partner that I've got hearts as well, because if they bid hearts, we're going to be in a very bad spot, aren't we? So if I did play the unusual 2 no trumps, I would use it here. If not, I'd actually just pass, and that's because I don't have the power to show my 5-5 hand shape. And so you might find that you actually just end up defending 2 spades on this one. Okay, this one's a little bit rubbish. It looks like we've just got a balanced hand. Do we even have enough to open? Oh, we're just at 12. Beautiful. We can open at least. Okay, so partner passes and the opponents bid 1 diamond. Now here I am going to make a takeout double. Now a lot of people think that if you make a takeout double you need 4 cards in any unbid major. It's not actually true. So you need to have at least 3, but you don't need 4 in any unbid major. And that's because if we did need that, there'd be so many hands that we just can't compete on. What will occasionally happen is that you will find you play in a 4-3 fit, but believe me, it's not the end of the world if that happens. So here, after we've made our takeout double, the opponents have kept on bidding, and now I'd just pass here. I think I've said my bid, I've described my hand, so it's now the opponents that are basically competing in this auction. If we open this up and have a look at it, this is really a hand that we did want to be defending. The opponents ended up in a sort of, they found a fit eventually, but they do have misfitting hands. Now just thinking about the hands and what's happened here, we've had East bid diamonds and clubs, and West has bid spades but then settled back to diamonds. A lot of the time this means that it's going to be a good idea to lead a trump. So this is when both sides have shown a different suit, but they've found a common suit together. And that's because what will often happen is they'll be cross-ruffing the hand. So this means they'll be using one hand to ruff one suit and the other hand to ruff the other suit. So here, for instance, what would happen is that ideally East would be able to ruff some spades and West would be able to ruff some clubs. If we start drawing trumps on the opponents, they're going to have a lot more tricky time of doing this, and we'll get a lot more tricks. So it's not that often that you do lead trumps, but if the opponents have had an auction like this, this is what is indicated. So if they both bid suits, but then they agree on another one. Get rid of our hands. Alrighty, so pass to us, and this time we've only got 11 points and we've got a 5-card suit. So I will still open it because I do count my length points, so I would count it as 12. So it's gone 1 club pass, and my partner's now going to bid 1 heart. Here I know that they've got 4 hearts and 6 or more points. My job is to bid one no trump and tell them that I'm balanced with 12 to 15. Now what's going to happen is it's all up to my partner. Partner knows that I've got 12 to 15 points. They might ask me for more information, but it's generally their job to place the contract. Now my partner is actually just going to put it into 3 no trumps. So here I know that they probably don't have a 5th heart, or they might have wanted to look for a heart fit, and they're probably going to be balanced, and they've got 13 to sort of about 16 or even a few more points. So we'd play in 3 no trumps. And here we have the hand. Doesn't look like it's going to go too badly for us. We've got 2 spade tricks thanks to the lead, 5 club tricks, and we've got some work we can do in the red suits as well. So 3 no trumps, not a bad place to end up, even though it does only have 24 points. Okay, so here we are as the dealer, and we're an unbalanced hand. Again, I really like to start thinking about what my hand is before I make my opening bid. In thinking about my rebid problems as well, this is a hand that I know I'm going to have problems with right from the start. Once I bid 1 diamond, if partner bids a spade, I'm going to have a rebid problem, and I have to be prepared for that. It'll be because I can't bid my hearts. I can't bid 2 hearts because that'll be a reverse. So I'm either going to have to choose between 1 no trump or 2 diamonds, or potentially bidding 2 clubs, which would promise 4. But any which way, I'm going to be a liar. Okay, so here it's happened. Partner bid 1 spade, and it's now up to me. Now this is an even more extreme situation about why reverses are so important. Let's say, for instance, that I actually bid my hearts here. This is why we have the idea of reverses. If I bid hearts here, partner would be forced to bid. So partner would be forced that they actually have to bid something. Say, for instance, they went back to diamonds, or alternatively, they might support my hearts if they can. But we're going to be at the 3 level. Partner had to do this even though they might only have 6 points. So this is why we have the idea of reverses. It's stopping us from getting too high. So when it does come back to me, I can't bid hearts because that's going to be a reverse. So what I have to do is find a different bid to make. So what I'm going to do, I have to choose, I think, between 1 no trump, or between 2 diamonds, or possibly 2 clubs. And it's which is going to be the least worst lie. I'm slightly a fan of 2 clubs here, which would typically be showing 5 diamonds and 4 clubs, or I've got a little bit of sympathy for 1 no trump as well. As it so happens on this hand, what's going to happen after 1 no trump, or even presumably after 2 clubs or 2 diamonds as well, is that we'll actually have our partner just, oops, I didn't want to pass, they would have jumped into 4 spades. So if we take a look at partner's hand, they actually had a great hand. Just having a look at the north hand here. Yep, there we go, we can see them all. One thing you might have thought with the north hand is, why didn't they bid 4 spades the first time? As it so happens, I would have bid 1 no trump and they would have bid 4 spades, but why didn't they do it the first time? Now, they know they want spades to be trumps, but they have no reason to bid 4 spades the first time. What they can do is just take it slowly. They can start off with 1 spade, and then when it gets back around to them, they can bid 4 spades the next time after they have more information. The reason you don't want to have to bid 4 spades right now is, imagine if I had a better hand, we could easily be missing out on a slam contract. As it turns out, slams are basically, you're missing the 2 aces, and that's basically about it. You are missing the queen of spades, so it is on a finesse. But slams not too far off, and I have a pretty miserable opening for partner. Okay, and here we have not a bad hand. Seriously, where are all these 5-5s coming from? I wish I got these in real life. So partner's going to open a heart. Now, again, with this sort of hand, it's definitely a hand where I am powerful because I've got a 5-5, but it really isn't inspiring that partner's got 5 hearts. I'm still just going to start off by bidding my spades. Now, this is an interesting situation because we're told what we should do is we should bid the higher ranking of 5 card suits. And what this is actually, it's not sort of up the line. What it is that we want to use the rank of the actual suit. So the spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs rank. So generally what we'll do now is bid spades first and then bid our clubs to show that we've got 5-4. And we might be able to show 5-5 a bit later. So here after our spade bid, partners come back and they say 2 diamonds for us. So we now know they've got 5 hearts and they've got 4 diamonds. Now here, the likelihood of us being able to have a fit in spades or clubs has diminished quite significantly. And that's because when partners promised 5 hearts and 4 diamonds, I know about 9 of their 13 cards. They've only got a maximum of 4 cards left between spades and clubs. So even though I've got this extreme hand shape that looks like I should have one of my suits as trumps, knowing about partner's hand and where their cards are, I probably am actually going to end up playing this contract in no trumps, and I should have that in my mind. It's really odd because your hand looks so offensive in that it should have a trump suit, but it's listening to the auction and listening to what partners had to say. And partners got 5 hearts and 4 diamonds at least, and so they're not really going to have a chance, too much of a chance of having a fit with us. What I can do now is use the 4th suit forcing convention to basically find out if partner's got 3 hearts for me. So when I bid 3 clubs, it says, partner, we must go to game. I need to know something about your hand. Partner's going to bid 3 hearts, which will typically deny that they've got 3 spades for us. So what we can then do is put the contract into 3 no trumps. Which is going to be the best place to play. These hands where one side or one hand has 2 suits and the other side has the other 2 suits, they're often really tricky hands to play as well. You've got to think about your entries a lot. These are hands that you really need to think about your entries. What I'd be basically hoping to do here is probably focus in on those spade tricks and set those up. Okay, lucky last board, and we'll see how we do. If it's a bad one, I might redeal it. Oh, this one's all right. Okay, so partner's dealer, and they're going to pass. And when it comes around to us now, what have we got? 5, 6, 7, 8, 15, 20, no, 19. Okay, I nearly got to 20 points, just 19. So again, you always want to have an idea in your head about how you're going to prepare the auction and what your next bid's going to be. On this one, I know that what I'm going to do is my general approach is that I'm going to open and then I'm going to jump rebid in no trumps to show partner that I'm 18 to 19 and balanced. If something else happens in the meantime, we'll see about that. So here, our partners actually bid 1 spade. Now in this auction, they should be promising me that they've got 5 spades, and this is because we have a negative double available. So this is where if partner only had 4 spades, they could actually double to say, partner, I've got 6 or more points and 4 or more spades. And it's basically we've been able to get extra room by the opponent's overcalling. So here, after their 1 spade bid, my plan needs to change a little bit. And this is because I've now found a fit. So originally I was going to rebid no trumps and jump a level to show 18, 19, but here something's gotten in the way. I now know that I've got a fit, and it's a good fit with partner. So my next job is that I want to raise partner, and I've got to think about how high to raise them. They've got at least 6 points to make their bid. So what's going to happen here is I have to add my points onto their points. And knowing that they're going to have at least 6 themselves, I've got 19. My job should be to bid 4 spades to tell them that we've got enough for game, and that's where we're going to want to play. And partner will know I've got about 19 for this. When we're thinking about how high to raise, it's always about will we have sort of 25 points together. And so if responders only promise 6, our opener needs to have 19. Alternatively, on the flip side, if our openers only promise 12 or more, our responder needs 13 to be able to jump to game. So I hope you enjoyed this commentated bidding session. I might look at doing a few other similar ones in the future, but maybe focus in on particular areas and actually have them themed. If you've got any ideas about what you'd like to see, please send them through. Now next week there isn't a session on Monday because we're off playing in the Victor Champion Cup, which is the national event here in Australia that's held in Melbourne. So not far to travel for us. It is our home city event. I don't know why they hold it in the middle of winter in Melbourne, but they do. So we won't be around on Monday, but I will be looking to do the beginners session on the following Wednesday as well, which I'm going to predict is about the 16th. So thanks for watching all. I hope you enjoyed that and cleared anything up. Do feel free to send through any lesson ideas that you'd like to see. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.